What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your Love and Hip Hop review, season 8, episode 16. We are almost done, and I'm happy because last week's episode felt forced, and there were some scenes in this episode that felt real forced. So we're gonna go ahead and get through it. We start the episode off. Oh, my bad. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hope you like this video. Um, scrap. I got the scrap already. Not scrap. We start the episode off with Joc in his salon. It looked like there was a fire at one of the stations. And he's there with his business partner and with Kendra. And basically the business partner is like, yeah, um, alarm call, alarm went off or called the fire department. And it looked like it was just one station that was affected. But she said that it looked like a stylist left a flat iron plugged in, and the flat iron, it sounded like the stylist probably was cleaning up her station for the night, put the flat iron in a towel and put the towel in the drawer, but the flat iron was still plugged in. Now here's the thing. I know accidents happen. People leave their irons on and stuff like that all the time. But when she was wrapping that towel up in that iron, it ain't feel hot. Like you didn't wait for it to cool off. Anyway, neither here nor there. The station was set on fire, and come to find out that the stylist was one of the stylists that Joc hired. So his business manager already ain't trying to take no responsibility for nothing. So her mind, she feels like it's Joc's fault because Joc hired this person. And Kendra was telling her, well, you're a bad manager. If you were doing your job better, this wouldn't have happened. And so they kind of get into it. And Joc was just like, look, at the end of the day, I want to know who the stylist was and what we need to do next. Like what happens next. I mean, of course, I'm sure you guys have insurance and you got to file a claim, and it didn't affect the whole shop. So once the fire department clears the shop, y'all good to go. That person just can't be at that station in hell. Who would want the stylist at that station anyway if she can't remember to unplug her flat irons at night? So there's that. Then we see Scrap with his baby, with Imani. And Imani's birthday's coming up. And Imani said, look, I want a part. I'm having a sweet 16 and I want everybody there. So y'all need to figure it out. All this co-parenting, I ain't talking to you, you ain't talking to me, bullshit. I want everybody at the same place at the same time. We had that in my family, a situation where the kids would have two parties because the parents couldn't be around each other. So the kids would have two birthday parties every year. One with their mama, one with their daddy. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. But anyway, um, and Scrap is like, look, whatever money wants, money gets. But me and Erica ain't in the best of space to be co-parenting and trying to do that co-parenting thing. But he said, for baby girl, he gonna make it happen. And later on in the episode, she tells her mama the same thing. Like, look, I want a party where everybody there together. Her mother was like, oh, so you want all of us to just come together and act like adults? Yeah, I want all y'all to come together and be adults. It's sad when the 16-year-old in the room is the voice of reason. Um, but it sounds like I don't know. They have a long history, and Erica and Scrap situation go back years, and so it's a lot of stuff there. Um, then we see Spice, Shekinah, and Sierra. Who I gotta remember who in these scenes. They're at a little wine tasting or whatever, and they're getting caught up having girl talk. And Sierra lets them know that she done bought the building that her salon is in, so she's doing some renovation. She's gonna turn the whole thing into like a Barbie palace. I said, you better go ahead, Sierra, making moves. Sierra, see, if you follow her on Instagram, Sierra be making money moves. You know what I'm saying? She ain't playing with y'all. So she done bought the building that her salon is in, and now she's doing some renovations and stuff. And they said, what's going on with BK? She said, look, it's complicated. And all of them were just like, Lord have mercy. She said, look, I know. I know. She said, but I do love him, and we go through our ups and downs, and it's just complicated. I don't know where we are right now. So then Shekinah starts telling them about what happened last week with Akbar, because Sierra was saying that's why she stood Scrap up at the little seminar last week, because she said, I don't think it's fair for me to try to move forward with something with Scrap not knowing if that door is really closed with BK. And I don't think that's fair of him. So that's kind of why I stood him up. You still could have sent the man a text, but okay. So Shekinah starts talking about what happened with Akbar trying to, come into the seminar and embarrass her and, kind of come at her. And Shekinah makes a comment about she need to go somewhere with her kids and stop worrying about me and go worry about who taking care of her kids. So Spice got offended. Spice was like, look, don't talk about the kids. Like, and she said, well, Shakana was like, well, she came for me. I ain't come for her. She came for me. Spice was like, I understand that and I hear where you coming from, but don't bring the kids into this. The kids don't have nothing to do with this. And, Shakana got upset. She was like, well, she came for me. Like, oh, so you going to take her side of it? And the one thing I like about Spice, Spice is always fair. Spice is like, look, I will ride for my friends. I will ride or die. But she's equal opportunity. She's not going to sit there and let Shakana talk trash about her mother. She said, no, she said, I ain't got, me and Aqua didn't get off on the best terms, but I'm not going to sit here and let Shakana talk about her kids because I'm a mother and I don't play that. And so Shakana got upset and Shakana walked off. And Spice was like, look, Shakana, if we're going to be friends, we can't be friends if I can't be honest with you. So we're going to be friends and I need to be able to be honest with you and tell you how I feel about stuff. And you're going to have to just accept it. Like we can't be friends if we can't cooperate, I mean, we can't talk honestly. So Sierra went to talk to Shakana and brought Shakana back in, and they were able to sit down and show that and sort of hash it out. Shakana was like, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't have brought her kids into it, but I just don't understand why. Why is she bothering me? Why is she bringing me into this? Like I don't have nothing to do with it. Her whole situation that was years ago, but they were able to resolve it. But Spice brought up, I think Shakana brought up a valid point. Like, you over here worried about what the hell I'm doing. Go worry about your damn kids. But I also understand where Spice is coming from, that maybe we shouldn't talk about the kids. Like, I get it. So we see Scrap De Leon with his two kids. Come to find out, the son he has with old girl lives with him full time because she got like 5 or 6 other kids and she working all the time. So that baby lives with him full time. And his youngest son still lives with his mom, but he sees him regularly. And he said he's getting ready to open up a restaurant because he got to figure out a way to make some honest money because he got to stay out. He got to, stay here for his boys. And so that was a cute little scene or whatever. So then we see Kendra hanging out with Joc mom, baby mama, and his ex-wife. It's Siene. Well, I can't pronounce that lady name right now. Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. And Kendra said, even though I don't have any children with Joc, I do spend time with, the mother of Joc's kids, because I spend time with his children. And I think that's important. I'm glad that we can all get along and we spend time together. So she was hanging out with them. They were at the little trampoline park with the kids and stuff. And they got to talking and everything. And she was saying how, her and Joc have had a couple of bumps and bruises this last year, but they're in a better place now and they're working things out and they're working through stuff. And why I can't get that woman name. Anyway, she done went and told Kendra what Carly told her last week about Joc supposedly messing around with the chicks at the bar, at the salon, and his business partner, that Joc is messing with the business partner. And so, of course, Kendra goes off and she was like, you know what? I'm not doing this for him anymore. This is the last time he's going to embarrass me. I don't have time for that. And Joc at that moment is picking her up. She goes out to the parking lot and she goes off on him and she tells him, look, this is it. This is the last time you're going to make a fool out of me. I've ignored it. I've let you explain it away. I've listened to your explanations, but this is it. I'm done. I'm not doing this with you anymore. We are over. You're not ready to give me the kind of relationship that I want. And Joc is like, what? What happened? What happened? Like, he's totally blindsided about what happened. And so she told him, she said, look, a girl done told me that you messing with the chicks down to the salon. And everybody know but me. It's all big laughs on Kendra. Joc was like, what the fuck? So Kendra walks off. So, of course, he goes inside and he confronts her. He's like, yo, why? What are you doing? Like, you know how much I care about this woman. Why are you going around telling her rumors and telling her stuff? He was like, why wouldn't you come to me and ask me about it before you go running to her and telling her? And so then she brought up Carly. He said, Carly? Really? That's your source? Is Carly? So he gets mad at her. They kind of go at it. And Joc is like, you know what? I don't understand why people just don't want me to be happy. Like, I ain't bothering nobody else. I'm just sitting here trying to have my relationship. And here we go. Everybody in Joc business. And Joc is hurt, but Kendra's hurt too. She's like, look, I understand where Kendra coming from because, I mean, hell, how many times? Because we already know the timeline is fucked up. Like, at the end of the day, Joc, the timeline is fucked up. And you've been lying. And you've been lying about how long you've been not how long you've been messing around with Kendra, because I believe you've probably been messing around with Kendra for the last 4 years, but how long you've been exclusive with Kendra. And Kendra, you ain't no innocent, because it ain't no way in hell you gonna sit here and tell me that you ain't looked at Love and Hip Hop. This man that you sleeping with, that you think you in a relationship with, you mean to tell me you ain't watching him on Love and Hip Hop? So you know what the hell he doing. Stop playing. You know the timeline is fucked up. But you think he's right now, you think he's committed to you. And so for that, I understand you being frustrated and upset. So then we see a really good scene between Akbar and Spice. Spice goes to see Akbar in the studio. Akbar walk in the studio and say, "Oh shit, this bitch gonna be jumping across. You gonna be jumping across tables?" She said, "Oh, that's right. I forgot. You don't like that word, bitch." Spice was like, "No, I don't." Spice said, she said, "I know me and you didn't get off to the best start." She said, "But I really don't have no beef with you. And I just wanted to come and talk to you and figure out what it is, why we got off to a wrong foot, and what can we do." She said, "I listened to some of your music. I think your music's dope. I think you're a great artist." She said, "But you got a whole lot of anger in you. What is that about?" And Akbar was like, she said, "Well, what was it about? What was it that I did that offended you?" She said, "That whole flown and groaning thing is really set me off." She said, "And Tokyo's my girl. So when you went for Tokyo, you went for me." She was like, "I'm going to ride for mine." And Akbar was like, "You know what? I can respect that because I'm like that with my friends. If somebody comes for my friends, I'm going to be there too. So that I can respect that." So then she said, "Well, the flown and grown here thing," she said, "because there's a lot of talent here in Atlanta. And I feel like a lot of times people come to Atlanta looking for a break and they end up getting a break and the talent that's already here gets overlooked." She said, "And so, Tokyo comes to town and Tokyo gets all of the clout and doesn't pay any homage to the people who were here." Now, part of what she said I can respect. The other part is bullshit. Tokyo don't owe you nothing. But I understand what she's saying about there's a lot of talent here, and people come in town, and then they get breaks, and then they get to where they need to be without, and then I'm still sitting here, scraping by. So I can respect where she was coming from. Spice said, "But you know what? It's not easy being the new kid in town either. I came to town, and I don't know anybody, and I'm hustling just like you hustling. So I don't have no great advantage because I flew in." And so they were able to talk. So then she was asking her, "Well, where's all this aggression coming from?" She said, "Can I ask you a question? Why don't you have your kids? What is that about with your kids?" Which I think was kind of a personal question, but Akbar answered her. And Akbar said, "I've been on these streets since I was 14 years old. I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes." She said, "And I'm not proud of the decisions I made." She said, "And at this point, I'm just trying to get myself together. So two of my kids are with my aunt. The other kids are with their father. And I'm just trying to get me together so that I can be the best me for my kids." And they ended up having a good conversation and they hugged it out. And Spice was like, "Look, maybe we can work together, do a collab or something like that." She was like, "I really feel like you make some good music." Then we see Sierra Aunt and BK make up. I don't care about that because that was just dumb. They made up. They love each other. "I love you, girl. You out here running around with other dudes. You know you love me." "I do. I love you. You know I love you." Whatever. Erica has her baby shower. I kind of already touched on that. She has her baby shower, and all the ladies are there. Everybody's there. Erica looks really nice, and that's when Amani tells her, "Look, I want my sweet 16. I want everybody to be there." Um, we find out that KK done wrote a tell-all book. Look, I ain't heard KK name in so long that when they said KK, I had to sit there for a minute and was like, "Who KK? Who is KK?" But KK has written a book about her life, and so she's having a book launch. And so they're talking about who's going, who's not. And Carly is like, "Well, I don't know if I'm going to go or not because um I don't, Scrap is going to be there, and I don't want to be disrespectful to my man." She's really playing up this whole. She's not coming right out and saying that Mo is abusive, but she's really playing up this whole like emotional abuse type thing. And she was like, "I just don't want to be disrespectful to my man. So, I might go, but I don't know because I don't really want to be around Scrap. I mean, we don't have no beef or nothing, but, I just don't know." So then Rashida was saying how she wants to have like a mother's brunch, that her mom's been in Houston taking care of the store in Houston, but that she's going, her mom's going to be coming home for a little while. And she wants to really sit down and do something for the mother. She said, we are we're all mothers. That's something we can have in common. And maybe we can all get together and do something where it ain't no drama. So, and then they talk about Tokyo. Like, has anybody seen Tokyo? What's going on with Tokyo? Where's Tokyo? Nobody knows what Tokyo is. So they will get to that. we'll get to that. So KK has her book signing, her book launch party, and she's supposedly telling all the business, honey, about when she went to jail and all her schemes. I'm pretty sure she ain't told all the business. She ain't told everything, but she told enough, I guess. The stuff where the statute of limitations are up on. We see Mama D there, and Mama D is saying how, Monty's having a sweet 16 and everybody's coming, including Bambi's mom, and how they had a little peace treaty, a little peace, but then she went around talking about her and telling all her friends stuff about her, and so she back to not hating, back to not liking the woman. So I'm sure that's gonna be some shit at the party next week, because I'm sure we're gonna see what happens. And Carly does show up, and she's acting real funky around, Scrap, acting real funny, and she got out of there real quick, and everybody was like, why is she acting like that? And he was like, I really appreciate you came to visit me in jail. So of course everybody's like, oh, you went to go see him? He was like, I really appreciate that you came to visit me. You really been, you was somebody that was there for me, even though, our relationship didn't really work out, but you was somebody that was there for me. And she was like, okay, thank you. And she kept looking at her watch. She was like, well, I see you looking at your watch. You must have somewhere to be. Yeah, I got to get home. I got to get home. So then we see her out in the parking lot. She runs into Joc. He's going in. She coming out. And Joc basically confronts her about the whole situation. Like, look, man, I don't bother you in your relationship. And so she starts talking about him making little smart comments going back to when they were on the radio way back at the beginning of the season and stuff. He was like, okay, fine, all right, whatever. But, I ain't caused no problems for you at home. You trying to ruin my relationship. She was like, you don't know what's going on in my house. You don't know what kind of problems you caused or didn't cause for me. He was like, you right. He was like, but for real though, why are you bothering me? Like, I don't bother you. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to be with my woman and be happy. Why are you going around telling people that I'm messing with people at the shop and stuff? She was like, that came from Shakana. You better go talk to her. No, Shakana ain't the one that told his baby mama. Shakana told you. Now I don't know why the hell she told you, but she told you. You're the reason why that got back to Kendra, not Shakana. Now whether it's true or not, that's another conversation, because I don't know if it's true or not. But the fact that it got back to Kendra, that's your fault. And so of course Carly not taking no responsibility for it. And Joc was like, word on the street, things ain't going too good at home for her. And we know misery loves company. So that's what all this is about. She just don't want me to be happy because she ain't happy. And I was like, oh, well, here we go. So then the girls go to check on Tokyo. Tokyo moved and all of that. And so we find out that Tokyo has just kind of been dealing. She's been staying to herself. She hasn't been coming out because they didn't really use the word depressed, but that's kind of what she's been dealing with depression. She said, her biological, I want to say her biological father, she said, moved to Africa. So I'm assuming that's where he's from. Her godfather, who was like a father to her, was shot. And then her grandmother died. And she said, I never really had time to mourn any of that, because I had to be back on tour 2 or 3 days after my grandmother died. And if you follow her on social media, I remember when her grandmother died, and she posted a lot about that on her social media. And she was saying, my mom is really sick, so it's not like I can just fly her out to come and see me whenever I feel like it. I can't always go home. She said, at the end of the day, I'm 24 years old. So it's, because Tokyo has such a big personality, you forget sometimes how young she is. And she does have a lot coming at her. There's a lot coming at her right now. If you follow social media with this whole Chris Brown piece, which I'm gonna talk about later on. It's a lot coming at her. And so when they told her, they were like, look, we're friends. And that's what friends are for. You can lean on us, call us, let us know what's going on, but don't go radio silent. Don't, kick us to the curb, because we want to be there for you. We really want to have your back, but we don't know if you don't tell us what's going on. And so she was like, I can understand that. That's cool. That's cool. So, but again, it was one of those forced scenes, because Tokyo sitting there smiling and grinning. I'm like, look, that's not to say she wasn't really going through something. I'm just saying in that moment, it was just, anyway. But that is, KK reads us part of her book, or tells us a story from her book. They ain't tell us none of the juicy stuff. I guess they want us to go buy the book. Probably ain't gonna happen. But that's pretty much what happened on this episode. I think either next week is the season finale or the week after that. But we definitely winding down. But yeah, let me know what you think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.